without representation? What is a nation without representation? I'm the 5%, not a 10% amazing.
All praises due to Allah, and that's a blessing. 360 degrees on the bar. All praises due to Allah, and that's a blessing. 360 degrees on the bar. More righteous, more righteous, all praises due to Allah, and that's a blessing. 360 degrees. More righteous, more righteous, all praises due to Allah, and that's a blessing.
Peace to Allah's mighty 5% nation, the God's nurse to all the humans in the planet Earth. We bid you a love, peace, and happiness, and our high salute. I am KY's Allah, aka Kato, the black superhero. Welcome to Real to Real 360. Well, you know, a lot of things, some people say some things just can't be done. Well, we don't believe in the impossible because we make the impossible possible. And all I can say is mission impossible is accomplished, baby. We got a great show for y'all lined up right now. And I'm not even going to tell you, hold you, how much of a fan I am of these gentlemen and their music. But we're going to get into their journey. I'm going to bring on my brother, my co-host with the most. Y'all know who he is, Yashamel Allah, my brother, Mr. PhD. We in the building. Let's get this party started, fam.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Sure enough.
But who am I?
Joshua Law.
Who am I?
Joshua Law.
I can't hear you.
Joshua Law. Mr. PhD.
Peace to all our followers, likers, and subscribers. We locked in today, man. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man, because I'm telling you, share that YouTube link, share that Twitter link, share that all the links, because you're not going to want to miss today's episode. We have a legendary R&B group that's still touring, still tearing up the stages. If you've seen the Rock the Block, Rock the Bells, you know that they still killing it. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring in, you know what I'm saying, Buddy, Teo from the group. Intro, let's go.
Yo. What it is?
What's happening?
That's what's good.
Peace, how y'all doing?
Man,
Hey, look, we rock the block and the bells, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Yo, man, I tell you, it's an honor to have such a great, you know what I'm saying, group to come on to our show. You know, we've been listening and rocking with Intro for years. And also, too, those who don't know, you know, Teo came over from Drew Hill. So we've been rocking with Teo for years, months, and days with Drew Hill. Now, that collaboration, that gumbo mix of Teo with Intro, it's amazing, you know what I mean, to hear and see how they're so cohesive.
That's what's up.
Just want to speak to, like, how, you know what I'm saying, y'all's able to make that combination work.
Buddy.
And it honestly, it happened because it was supposed to happen. Like, me and Teo have been hanging out for years. Like the crazy thing is, before we really talked about joining forces in music and just picking the, you know, the brand and stuff, we was hanging out in like Denmark, we was hanging out in like Stockholm, Sweden, and places like that. But we had never really hung out here at home and stuff like that. And he was like one of the most phenomenal vocalists that I've heard from our era. And he's younger than us, but he has that old soul with a modern day twist. And when I heard that it was a call from a well-known promoter, he was like, "What do you think about Teo?" And I was like, that would be like an NBA trade, like LeBron coming to the Knicks or something like that. I was like, that's my dude, man. I get along with him. I said, I know it's not possible, but hell yeah. And then I did say, okay, let me talk to Jeff. And then Jeff was like, hell yeah. And when Teo gave us the hell yeah, it was 3 hell yeahs, and you know,
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. That's the story as short as I could make it. But it's been an incredible time, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
to chime in, my departure from Drew Hill, I must say that happened for last May of 2024. And I wasn't sure if I was going back. So I kind of like waited till the end of April. And in the midst, I think the second week of April, the promoter he's talking about, his name is Jamal from Yard Out and Entertainment. He ended up calling me. I guess him and Buddy got on the phone and was just talking about, I guess them getting a lead singer. And from there, like, he knew that not that I wasn't doing nothing, but he knew I was in between, like if I was gonna go back to Drew Hill or if I was just gonna just be chilling. So he just was like, yo, like, how would you feel about being the lead singer and intro? And I was like, like I don't know, you know what I mean? So I was like, give me a little moment, because I guess he had Buddy on the other line actually of the phone, and I said, well, give me a second, let me think about that. So I discussed it with family members, friends, people that have been around for my career, and everybody thought it was a go. They was like, "Yo, go ahead and do that," because everybody loves intro. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just like they felt like my vocals would definitely, you know, do, I would be able to fit into intro pretty much. So once everything happened, I said, "Yo, give me Buddy's number." And I'll call him, when I figure it out. And so then I called Buddy, and then Buddy was like, okay, like he just said, I'm with it. Like whenever you ready. He's like, but we got to talk to Jeff though. So I was like, all right, cool. So gave me Jeff's number. I guess he gave Jeff my number. Me and Jeff, as soon as we got on the phone, it was like we knew each other. And Jeff had explained to me that he had booked a show with Drew Hill in it back in 2010 in New York somewhere, and that's when I first met him or whatever. So it just kind of all came together full circle. Like Buddy said, we was just out in Stockholm and Sweden and all that stuff at the bar singing intro songs. What? Not even a year before, before then. So it just kind of like came back around full circle, man. And now here we are, like you said, rocking the block and the bells, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
I want to take the time out, shout out Katie Dawson for chiming in the comments. Isaac Turn, Ike Dirty, man, appreciate y'all. Lady Shay, Rodney, the boss is in here. You know what I mean? We definitely rocking with intro tonight. Now,
So,
um, y'all done traveled the world, you know what I'm saying, separately and you know what I'm saying collectively. What is the response that y'all get when y'all go overseas? Because
Oh,
we know how it is over here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
What is the response intro get, you know what I'm saying, overseas or when y'all perform over there?
Buddy, you can start that one off.
um, pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty
absolutely.
cool. Yeah, like just if we go back to the very last one that we just did, the up close and personal in London, there's like, oh, we're gonna walk you guys underneath this train station here, and we go down there, we see a bunch of people doing like legal graffiti and these big dope murals and stuff, and then they walk us down a little bit, and we look to our left, and it's intro. They did like this big graffiti piece for us and stuff outside of the venue and stuff, and it's just little things like that that they go above and beyond to make the artist feel special. You know, intros are, we've always had a good time in like that part of the world, whether it be London or Germany or Russia, because like wherever they kind of like the R&B, the 90's R&B, the music and intro.
Yeah. And to chime in on what he was saying, it was actually a mural. I forget the lady's name,
Mhm.
and she had all three of our current photo, the one with the black and white. I mean, the detail was crazy. Um,
Mhm.
so she put the mural up. Jeff, your bell is going off a little bit. Something in your car, bruh. Turn your lights off. Close the door. So no. So to add on to that though, I mean, this is my first time around, with intro and RIP to the great Kenny Green.
Yeah.
You know,
RP to Kenny Green.
to,
Yeah.
to answer your question, when we went over, that was our first show in London, and it's kind of nerves build up because it's like I am the new lead singer, and people were used to Kenny, and you still kind of get people saying, "Oh, I wish Kenny was still," whoop, 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 whoop. And that's fine, Not even that. They'll say, "Oh, I need Kenny." That's some of the bad comments we've heard. That it's like, okay, well, they can't get Kenny, so what do you expect from them not to move on? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
but when we went to London for the first time, it was like nothing even changed. It's like they latched on to every word. They sang every word from every song from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? And it was a great feeling for me individually, and I know it had to been a great feeling for Jeff and Buddy, and it was kind of confirmation to say, hey, this is going to be a situation. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and even like my Drew Hill days, I mean, anytime you go overseas, it's something about them and their love for 90s music that's just uncomparable. It's like over here, it's like I feel like we used to it, although we love it. But over there, it's like it's just on steroids, bro. Like
Oh,
I can't even
well,
really explain it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Definitely. They say that the love is definitely different over there when artists come, and that's why you see a lot of artists actually move overseas because of the love that they receive over there.
mhm.
And
Not only do they pay attention, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you on
no,
up.
no, you good, bro.
Not only do they pay attention to the words of the songs, they pay attention to your words in interviews. As we were leaving sound check, this young lady came up to me. She's like, "Can I talk to you?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up? What's up?" She's like, in an interview that y'all did, I heard Jeff mention that he was single and he was looking for a girlfriend. Do you know if he's still looking for a girlfriend or not? I said, we were walking back to the hotel from sound check. So I told the young lady, I said, come here. I said, come here. I said, come. Let me introduce you to Jeff and let's ask him that question. So we're walking back up the tunnel and stuff, and I stopped Jeff, and I told him. And he looked at me, and he looked at her. He's like, no, I'm good. I gotta go for now. Something like that. It was funny though. But remember that.
Look at Jeff.
But they pay attention. They pay attention to the words in the interviews as well.
Anything
The
to
look.
add, Jeff? While you parallel parking?
And then she ended up on stage. She still
Uh-huh.
didn't give up. She ended up on stage at the show
She
later
sure
on
did.
that night when they invited
Wow.
women to come up on the stage to sit down. I was like, "What in the world is going on here?" That's the same girl that was outside. It was just that's the type of admiration and appreciation and love that they show us there, and we are so grateful. We are so grateful. Yeah.
And
I
not
get
to mention, we probably saw one guy in that crowd. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was all women.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I'm
that's
saying?
the real
So
bro trip. How they say the brothers trip. The real bro trip is to go to an intro show in England or
yeah,
Sweden
yeah.
or Denmark, and you'll go there and you'll be like Teo said, you'll be like it's like 99 to 1. You'll be that
yes,
one
sir.
guy with
I wanna say something what Taylor was speaking on and tapped on this. It's sometimes hard when you get into a group that had such a profound sound and movement and everybody knew them individually so that okay, and like you said, God rest his soul. And then when you come along, even though y'all a new conglomerate, everybody's mindset back then is still looking to hear the sound of Kenny. And sometimes, and that's what sometimes is hard within the group, but it's also a blessing too, because it lets me know and lets y'all know that they're not forgetting who y'all are, not
Right.
the music, not the sound, the choreography. It's just they got to get used to a new element that adds to it. And they got to want some people, the new people going to be like, oh wow, okay, all right, because they don't know. Old folks like myself, but I ain't that old. I'm only turned 15 yesterday. So just to to hear the old school joints, and then I'm looking forward to hearing how the new sound is, and be like, I bet, because intro, I remember, man, Fort Bragg days, it was on and popping. So listening, like I said, in the
Smoke
military
Bomb
days,
Hill.
yeah, yeah,
Stab it. The stab. They had a club called the Stab and Jab.
yes,
I
sir.
was like, all right, the Stab and Jab.
Oh
That's
yeah,
where we hanging
yeah.
out tonight.
But no, it's really a blessing. Like you said, people get used to a certain sound, and I come in, and that's when the nerves for me hit, because it's like, although I know what I'm able to do vocally, people want that sound, and you can't really just throw anybody in a group like intro. You know what I'm saying? So once we got the reaction, I think once we first posted the first picture to let everybody know that I was a part of intro, immediately, without even hearing us sing a word, people was like, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta realize too, this is my second time going through that, because I replaced Woody and Drew Hill.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, people can be very tough, you know what I mean? When they've been used to seeing Woody there and certain members there. And they like, who is this? And the sound changed and the this and the that. But over the years, I was able to win them over. I mean, so now I think just, by me being in Drew Hill and by me showcasing my talent and people knowing who I am and knowing what I do, I think it made it a lot easier to transition from there to here. You know what I'm saying? Now getting the respect from, all of the people that I've been on the road with, and even the intro and Drew Hill fans, getting the respect enough to say that I'm the man for the job. And especially from Buddy and Jeff, they've been nothing but, I mean, more than just being in a group, it's like these are my two like older brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we immediately clicked. I mean, our personalities, blend well. We had fun. It's no, how the whole thing about being in a group, how certain people kind of go their separate ways. Like, it's not that way with us. We hang out, we'll go to the bar, we talk on the phone, you know what I'm saying? Like, we actually kick it outside of being on stage, you know what I'm saying? So it's a great situation, you know what I mean?
And none of it was forced. It was just happening. It was like,
Absolutely.
because we've had, we put people in a group before, and it's just like from day one, you kind of know, like, you, like, the integrity of intro. Are you going to add something? Are you going to be on that level, or are you going to add something? And that answer was always no, until Teo came along, because it's a lot of, you'll see in a lot of performances and stuff like that, his ear is so incredible. He was able to capture the pretty much every element of our performance. Like, if you was to sit in one of our rehearsals, honestly, you would feel like you was listening to the live album. For albums 1 and a couple selected songs off of album 2. Rest in peace to my brother Kenny Green. I'll never take anything away from him vocally. Teo is not a replacement. Teo is an addition to the group.
Right.
Our number one thing was, with the passing of our brother, that we didn't want the legacy of intro to be intro stopped performing or stopped recording because Kenny Green passed away. That's not the end of the story.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you look at some of the things that y'all have done, you know what I'm saying, whether it was adding on to intro or adding on to Drew Hill, or just coming together, period. What are some of the goals that y'all are looking to accomplish today? You know what I'm saying, going forward, you know what I'm saying, as a group?
I would say for me, I've been pounding the pavement for about 17 years. I was with Drew Hill for 16, and now intro. At this point, I think I just want to have fun. I just want to be successful, and I want to actually, not that I didn't have fun in Drew Hill, but now I get to enjoy being on the road and doing what I love with people that are genuine and real, because like I said, as I said before, certain situations you get into, certain people can have egos or just be Hollywood, and it's not real, it's not authentic. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to get out here and well, for one, let people know what they've missed with intro for the last 24 years. You know what I'm saying? And bring that music back, because just to see the people's face light up when we hit the stage and then listen to that music that they remembered, you know what I'm saying? And just bring back that memory for them is an incredible feeling. So, I just, Buddy and Jeff deserve that. I feel like I deserve that, you know what I'm saying? And we just want to enjoy what we do and what we love, man. And just create a generational wealth and all the good things that people get into their careers for, you know what I'm saying? That's my outtake on it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
going forward, just like that, man. Going forward, we're three musicians in a 3-man band. We have a nice support team behind us. Shout out, we have a brand new music director. Taylor introduced us to Denard Watson, and the show has been elevated, like musically, to match the work that we put in, because we kind of went guerrilla mode on this right here. We started rehearsing about a year ago without letting anybody go. Every Saturday we drive down to Baltimore and hang out with Teo. We go into dance studios and work with choreographers, and eventually it came down to like, yo, why don't we just do this at Teo's crib? Let's just hang out at Teo's crib. We had the wood floors, the space for us to do it, and that kind of helped us elevate into what you saw at Rock the Bells, and what you'll see if you're in Atlanta on July 15th at the City Winery. We're gonna go in there and have a little fun.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we got City
We're gonna have a
Winery,
little fun. Mhm.
Atlanta on July 15th, and then we have the City Winery in Philadelphia on the 22nd of July. You know what I'm saying? 2 45-minute sets. So this is the first time, that we've done this, collectively. I'm pretty sure I've done it before, something similar with Drew Hill at Yoshi's, but not a city. This will be my first time in a City Winery.
Mine's also intros first, and our whole looking forward to that.
Now, before Kate kick in with the music, I just have a question. Have you ever thought about doing another live album, like making another live, album EP, intro, with y'all performances and everything like that?
Absolutely. It just wouldn't make sense to just get back on the road and just sing the songs that people, whatever. I mean, like the goal right now is we're like 2 shows in since we got together. We just really want to nail getting these performances in, and just get familiar with each other on stage and get better on stage. It's good that people can watch this process and just get out there with these other acts. I mean, I know we've all performed with the same people, you know what I'm saying? Just like Rock the Bells, everybody that was there, I've been on stage and been around when I was in Drew Hill. So it's like now we're just pounding the pavement and letting everybody know, look, intro's back. And then once we feel like, it's time, I mean, we're actually in the works with talking with different producers right now. But right now the goal is to just hit the stage, man, and let everybody know we're back and put it out there. And then from there, then we'll work on an EP, maybe a full album. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. Well, we're going to jump into it, some of the great jams and joints what we had. But one thing, sir, first, I want to make sure with everybody understanding the word, when y'all formed the group Intro, what was the birthplace? Of course, we know what it is, Crooklyn. But we want to know the birthplace. we want to know the meaning of how y'all came up with Intro as a whole for the group.
Fort Bragg, North Carolina?
No. When you came up with Intro.
Oh, intro. The word intro is crazy. I had an album, right? A Motown's greatest hits album. It said on the back of it, it said intro Stevie Wonder, intro Smokey Robinson, intro Diana Ross, intro. And I'm like, damn, how the hell did intro get a chance to work with all of these great artists? How did they get a chance to do all these records with them? And I was just not smart enough in music to know that that was just the intro to that particular song.
Right,
And
right.
that was like pretty much became my favorite album. And once I found out that that was really intro, I was like, we're gonna become our favorite group. You know, we was already doing trying to be rappers and stuff and trying to be
Mhm.
producers, but gave me an opportunity to say intro.
No,
My
he said
favorite
where.
group.
He said where
There's
was
no
the birth? He said where was the
birthplace.
birthplace to that name? Like, how did you come up with the name intro?
Yeah, from off of the
Yeah,
album.
from the
Off of
album.
that
Oh,
Motown's greatest
Right.
hits. Every
oh,
song
okay,
said
my
intro,
bad.
wanted Steve intro and that, and then come to find out, we end up making one of those happen. We did the intro and Stevie Wonder. But that's where it came from. And then Kenny was like, he was into acronyms and stuff. He's always writing stuff. So he's like, innovative, new talent, reaching out. The bang.
Mm, okay.
There it is.
Look.
Mhm.
I'm glad you asked that. Look, I'm learning.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
learning today.
All right,
Yeah.
fellas. Well, listen, man, we're gonna come back.
Yo.
We're gonna start off with one of the classics, man. That as always was a definite club banger for me, and got me to dance and squeeze a couple of booties back in my time frame. You know, but it's all good. It's because it
Okay.
was a love thing.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
it.
Well,
He said he was squeezing the booty. You can't say that more than 3 times on air nowadays, though.
Yeah.
You might catch coach.
What happened? Uh-oh. I got some weather difficulties. Hold tight.
Cup master. Cup. It's all good. I thought that was the mix right there because a lot of times they'll stop it right there and go into another song. It's all good.
We actually into some bad weather on my side of North Carolina. It's still pouring down heavy here, and the lights.
Okay.
But let me see what's going on here.
I was in Wagner on Saturday.
Wagner, North
Wagner.
Carolina.
It's about 45 minutes out of Raleigh.
Uh-huh.
I was there on Saturday. It was a really nice weather on that day. I heard I made it out on time though.
So it's coming up short here. Oh wow. Yo, you know what? Stream is tripping, man.
Okay.
You're not
We
giving us.
can we can reschedule this and do it again if you want to.
No,
It's
no.
up to you.
I mean, giving insight and knowledge just from y'all talking, man. They cutting the actual song. Hold on, let me see if I can fix something right here. But in the meantime, what part was y'all growing up in Brooklyn?
Oh, growing up in Brooklyn, I was just talking to my son about growing up in Brooklyn. That was a quite a really cool experience.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, growing up in Brooklyn, got my first job when I was 12 playing the piano in the gospel church.
Okay.
So that was kind of like my father was the musician, and then I started playing the piano
There
while
we
he was
go.
playing the organ. Then they end up hiring me to play the piano there, and that was growing up in Brooklyn for me, like going to church, going to school, going to church, going to school, going home. And surrounded by mostly gospel music, a little bit of jazz, and the hardest R&B that was allowed in my house was DeBarge and Lionel Richie. Jesus is Love. Other than that, I had to find it my own.
What part in Brooklyn though?
East New York.
East New York.
yes, sir.
Miller
Yes,
Avenue
sir.
between Miller
Uh-huh.
Avenue between Sutter and Blake.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Hey,
All
was
right.
y'all able to hear the music when I was playing it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
my phone's ringing. People only call when you're doing something.
Right,
Right,
right, right.
right,
And I
right.
think it's really hitting down here, boy. It's really pouring.
Yeah, it's
Well,
raining
Yeah.
here too.
But you really didn't miss anything
nah, nah.
because the
It's
storm was slowing us up
Yeah.
on the other stuff
yeah,
too.
on the
So
other
you didn't miss
stuff.
anything.
Now, I want to go ahead and like I started initially with
Where the heck is
Ribbon
Jeff?
in the Sky. I guess he couldn't get right for us like when he was parking and logging in or what have you. But I want to get into Ribbon in the Sky remaking of the Stevie Wonder song,
That's a
and
class.
how was it? How was it like working with saying that record and even wanting to do it because
We didn't want
some
to do
people.
it. We
Yeah, that's what I
didn't want to
we
do
didn't
it.
want to do it.
We just ran into Tim Dog Patterson
Mhm.
down at he was at the Rock the Bells Festival. He hosted the Eddie F Presents. Shout out to DJ Eddie F. Eddie F
Yeah, yeah,
Presents.
yeah, yeah.
They
Right.
he brought everybody out that night and they did their thing. Shout out to Untouchables. Shout out to Uptown Records. But Tim Dog was one of the big intricate parts of Uptown, and he told Intro to do Ribbon in the Sky. He told Jodeci to do Lately. He brought the Lost Boys over there. And when he told us to do Ribbon in the Sky, we told him no. And Tim Dog booked the studio and kind of pushed us in the studio to do it. And it was like the last song that we recorded on the album without expecting it to even make the album or possibly just be a filler because nobody remakes a Stevie Wonder song. And they end up putting it on the album, and that's it.
Definitely because I was always curious about that myself because normally nobody touches Stevie. You know what I mean? Like Stevie is like taboo for most artists. Like they do not want to touch a Stevie Wonder song. And the way that y'all did it and put y'all spin on it, you know what I'm saying, and put that intro touch on it was amazing. So right now I want to go off into Ribbon in the Sky. Y'all can hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For this night I pray that a star will guide you my way to share with me the special day. Well, the ribbons in the sky for our love. If for love, may I touch your hand, and if please, may I once again, so that you too will understand. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love.
See if I can resend this link to Jeff.
This is not a coincidence, and for more than a lucky chance, but what it is that was all.
It hasn't started yet. After we finish, yeah, you don't have to look now. Once we're finished, then they post it. Mm.
Yes, sir.
Ribbon in the
Classic.
Sky by Intro.
Classic.
Now, the question I have with that, because Ribbon in the Sky is a 6-minute song. Today, those are 2 songs together, right? For its time wise. When you record now or sit down and do records, has that really impacted the way that you write your songs or you write your music because of the different time frames? Because back in the days, the songs was like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, gave you enough time, you know what I'm saying, to slow dance and get your game right before you get up out of it. Now, you just barely got enough to say your name, and do you want to dip out and get some, you know what I'm saying, some chili bowl, Ben chili bowl or something, you know what I'm saying?
Not Ben's Chili Bowl. That's good and terrible. I'll say that it depends on the artist. You know what I'm saying? Because like with me, if you writing a song, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna flow the way it flows. I mean, it depends on the artist because if you're writing a song to fit in a certain time frame, you know what I'm saying, and that's one thing. But if you got a song on your heart and it's something that you writing, you know, it kind of, the song builds itself, you know what I mean, as you write it. So it's just like, you know, you really can't, you know, tell. I mean, that would be up to like if it hits radio and they got to cut it down to 3 minutes. I don't know the time or whatever now, but it depends. I mean, I think that's I don't know, it might be a young thing too, man. I mean, I can't say that I hated it, you know what I mean, because I have a couple of singles out there as well, and I mean, it's definitely a lot less work, you know what I'm saying. But outside of anything else, I mean, It depends on the song. It might be a song that's just steadily flowing.
Mhm.
But to just, touch on that, I mean, I miss those songs. Like even learning, some of the new, I mean, not the new, but learning some of the intro songs that I had to learn. You
Mhm.
just realize, even like in the 90's and before the 90's, the 70's and all that, how
Mhm.
like people really did have like 6, 7 minute songs. Like it was all about the energy and the song, you know what I mean? So some songs you just couldn't cut off at 3 minutes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It just you wanted to keep going. So that's one thing I respect about Kenny, because I mean he ad lib for about 6, 7 minutes on some of them songs, and it's like, damn,
Yeah.
like that just shows you how more creative people were back then to
Mhm.
just keep going versus, all right, after 2 minutes 50 seconds, I'm gonna just plan out for this song to be this time. It's like, nah, you gotta, I would still want to let it, flow. So I mean, it depends on the song, man. It depends on the song and it depends on the artist.
Mhm. Now, because the reason why, like you said, the newer songs now are so instant. Everything is so
Right.
instant, and coming from a time period where I always say we had conversation skills. You know what I'm saying? Was
Mm-hmm.
wordplay was impeccable back then.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you knew. You know what I mean? You were that dude if you had, you know what I'm saying, some good wordplay, and it was reinforced by the music that you listened to because the groups had the lyrical skills and the wordplay. So
Mm-hmm.
now everything
Um,
is opposite. Everything is so
uh,
opposite. Everything is right on the table. This is what it is up front, whether you know what I'm saying it's blatantly there or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be. Because coming up, like say in the '90s, to meet a woman, she was wanting to hear that game you was about to spit. She wanted to know, you know what I'm saying, what your conversation was like. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
like, do you smoke? Do you drink? Like,
Right. We going to
it's
the
like
club.
it's like it's
You know what
we
I'm
going to the
saying? Pop
club?
bottles.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the same way that they made their food back then compared to the way they make their food today. Back then, they took their
Yeah.
time to put it in the oven and let it cook or on the stove.
Hmm.
Right now, everything they just pop in the microwave,
Yes,
and you can
sir.
taste the difference.
Hmm.
You can taste the
It's
difference.
just a fast meal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I'm
I
still
mean, and not
stretching
that
some.
like I said, not that I'm against it, because I mean, on them lazy days, it's like, whoo, oh, this song only 3 minutes. All right, cool. Like it for
Hmm.
us, it's easy
Yeah.
because we're used to, recording those long songs and things like that. So now it's just like,
Hmm.
I think they took a lot of fun out of recording too, because you used to have the interludes, the skits, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? The bridges, those are
Hmm.
gone now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I can remember a time where you hear a certain interlude and you be mad. You be like, damn, that should have been a song. You know what I'm saying? But like
Right.
now, like it's so straight to the point, like you said, it's like it's no it's no work really put into it. And that's why you get these singles that come out and they only last for that long, because that's really the work you put into it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
So I
feel
mean,
Yeah.
go
the
ahead.
changes between today's R&B and how it was during the 80's and 90's R&B?
Absolutely.
And it's like, I look at it like my brother, it's straight to the point about certain things that the imagination doesn't lead anymore. It
Yeah.
doesn't entail about,
Mhm.
if I when I sing to you, I'm singing to you.
They
Now
took the
it's
love
like
out of it.
I'm just humming bars and
They
that's
took the
it.
love away. There's
Yeah,
no
Right.
love no
yeah.
more. There's no love. It's no soul. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? They ask that question all the time, like, what's the difference? There's no blues in rhythm and blues anymore.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch of rap singing. And like I said, once again, I don't have nothing against it. I like some of the stuff. But back then, to be a singer, you really had to be a singer. You know what I'm saying? You really had to have
Mhm.
that soul that, people could feel, not only listen and sing the words, but they could feel what you were saying.
Yeah.
It was authentic. You know what I
And a
mean?
lot of the singers then got that how to connect from singing in the church, like singing in
Exactly.
choirs and singing in there. And now, especially past post pandemic, a lot of churches don't really have. A lot of churches are like virtual now, So kids don't really get a chance to go in on Tuesday night and get their chops in with the next person from the choir. It's almost like a competition with people in the choirs and singing hard. And who's going to lead this song on Sunday? We don't know today, but we're going to see who sing the best, and they're going to sing that song on Sunday. And they created like, a talent. And then you was adding like the religion and the spiritual part to it. It felt like they were singing with a purpose, so they was able to project themselves more. Like the kids don't get that today. They singing like they sitting there playing a PlayStation game.
Well, it was a lot. Like I said, a lot of it's got to do with the hip hop. You got rappers that want to sing, and you got singers that want to rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I actually have a song, that I did that's kind of rap singish, but it's like, if I were to do a whole album of that, my fans wouldn't appreciate it because they know that I can really sing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what are you doing? We know what your talent is, but I just think a lot of that soul and love. I mean, nobody's in love anymore.
No.
When you think about 70s, 80s, back then, and I'm gonna say like pre-hip hop and things like that, big hairy dudes and all that was in love. They was at the Whispers concerts and things like that. They dressed up, what I'm saying? They actually courted women and things that is just, is vanished now. You know what I'm saying? It's all about going to the club and a fast, nobody wants to even, be in a relationship. Marriages don't last. There's a lot of things going on in today's society that just kind of like people don't want to hear it. It's moving so fast. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the love and the actual passion and things have been taken out of R&B. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Now this twofold, like music dictates the way we interact with each other. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about the love, if the artist isn't talking about love, then there's no love in the house. You know what I mean? If this is your favorite artist and he's talking explicit, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be, that's going to be the energy that you get in the household. You know what I'm saying, or in the relationship. But the real question I have is, since there's not many or any R&B groups or groups as a whole, you know what I mean, do you think that a lot of times the music is missing that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that fellowship that individuals have with one another when it came down to the music, being able to have a brother or a sister on the road with you and on stage with you and in the booth with you, you know what I'm saying, walking this walk. Do you think that the music is really missing something of like that?
There aren't a lot of groups out now. It's either, there was a group and then they splintered off and did different stuff. But I love performing with the brothers. I love traveling with the brothers. I love meeting them at the airport and just having somebody there that I know to talk to. And, then rehearsals and then to the stage and just having somebody there that you can interact with. I don't know how I would move as a solo artist. I don't mind writing a song by myself, but as far as being out and performing, I always want to be in the camaraderie. I like doing the choreography. I like doing that, the harmony aspect and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a different energy. I've been in a group and solo. It's different when you can share the stage and share, like, just like growing up in a house with brothers and sisters. You can be in a house where you grow up by yourself, you're the only child, or you grow up in a house where there's people around and there's always something going on, there's always someone there. It's just different being able to, like Buddy said, with just singing harmony, and just having someone to share that with, just the excitement. I mean, it's a different energy. Some people like being on their own. Some people like being solo artists and doing it on their own. Some people aren't people that can get along with other people. You know what I'm saying? But I think once you do find that, different groups that are able to do it. I mean, we still got Boys to Men still doing it, New Edition, even though everybody goes through their situations, but it's nothing like being in a group, you know what I'm saying, and being able to like, just be around the different talents. It's like if we are sitting and writing a song together, now you got three heads versus one. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, I like that verse. Let me add to that. You know what I mean? It's just like being on a basketball team, football, anything. It's just like, you kind of pass the ball to your partner, you know what I mean, to your
Yeah,
teammate,
I
and
used to,
y'all,
that's
it's
dope
I
that
don't
you
know,
said
it's a
that.
different, yeah,
Yeah, because I always use that analogy to always talk about like it's like being in a group is like you on the beach. So you go to the beach and you got this big beautiful beach ball. What you gonna do? Just sit there and hit it up in the air all day? You know what I'm saying? You want to hit it over to the next person, let them have some fun, and let them hit it to the next person. If you just stand just hitting it up in the air all day, it's kind of like it's getting boring right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
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 you can't
exactly.
you
It's
can't
it's an
play you
energy,
can't play taps by yourself.
no
Yeah,
You can't
bullshit.
it's
you
fun.
can't
You
play
know what I'm
taps by
saying?
yourself, man.
So, but everybody's not, like I said, there's a lot of people that don't mind. I hats off to any solo artist because I know how hard it
Mhm.
is doing it on your own versus, being in a group. Like, some nights one person might be hoarse. So you got your teammates to, make up for, and the spotlight ain't just on you. You know what I'm saying? You could kind of like finagle your way through and you got that help and support. You know what I'm saying? Being a solo artist, you don't. It's all on you. Any mistake you make, you know what I'm saying, is right there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's like I said, it's more of a brotherhood. Like if you have a real brotherhood, a sisterhood, and you were used to growing up around people in the house and things like that. I mean, it makes it that much better, man. I mean, for lack of better words, it just makes it that much better. I like being on stage with people who I can feed from. Buddy might be killing his part, and that hyped me up to kill my part. Jeff come in, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, being on a team. You know what I'm saying? It's a different energy.
Definitely. Well,
I don't
fellas,
know what happened to the groups though.
the groups
Yeah.
just everybody went solo. You know what I mean? Everybody
Yeah.
went solo. You know what I mean? But
So they went so low, can't even see him.
you
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, they always come back. They always come back. You know what I mean? Eventually, after they seen, I guess the grass ain't always greener, or the business, you know what I'm saying, isn't what they was told it was, or what have you. But one thing about it is we're grateful. Those of us who came up during the period of the '90s with the golden era of R&B in the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying, able to really, you know what I'm saying, embrace that music, you know, we were lucky, I think, because we had great groups, we had great artists like yourselves, individuals who, when you went to a show, you saw a show. You saw
Right.
entertainment, you know what I'm saying? You saw the dance, the choreography, and you got the vocals. Now, I spend 70 to $200 on a ticket, and I have to go to work inside the stadium. They got me hey hoeing, I'm singing, I'm doing the steps, I'm moving from left to right, I'm line dancing now. It's like, man, listen.
Yeah, back then it was more it was a competition too though. Like and it was the artistry. Like people, like you said, the high fives, the troops, the
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? People when you made it back then, you actually had to have, and I hate to say that nobody's talented, but you had to be talented. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Now I just think, like you said, everything happens so fast, everything's so microwavable that the work and the artistry has been taken away. You know what I'm saying? It's just been taken away completely. And I mean, people, I think they're trying to get back to that, you know what I'm saying, right now. And it may take a little while, but I mean, yeah, it's just not, music was fun back then.
Yeah.
When you listen to them old tracks, just like y'all played Love Thing and all of that, those tracks and music was actually fun. You know what I'm saying? Like now, you get a quick bop out of it, but I mean, we had house parties, we had, that's what I remember growing up too. Music was just a fun time. And like I said, once you took the love away and take the love out of it, now you got what you got. And not to say that that's bad for this generation. That might be, just like how when we were growing up. I can remember my parents saying, "Well, what you listening to? That ain't no real music." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. History just kind of repeats itself. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that we were a last of a dying breed, being as though how we were talking about songs were longer. Think about the artists that had to record and couldn't make no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Before you had the Pro Tools and the whatever, you had to sing the song straight through. And if the bass player hit one wrong note, you had to go back and do the whole song over again. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of that work that people, the Stevie Wonders and all of them put into music is non-existent anymore. You know what I mean? Everything is so fast. You got all these computer programs and softwares and things like that. That if you make a mistake, you just go back and fix it, edit it. You know what I'm saying? There's no really, you don't have to work hard anymore. So I think that's
And
something that kind of takes away from the music as well.
I think that it's starting to be a lot of that things that are taken away from the music. Now you got
Yeah,
AI
yeah,
singing for you. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You got the AI singing for you. So now when you get on stage, your voice is totally different. You
Right.
know what I
Well, it was
mean?
auto
And
tune before AI.
make it. Yeah, it was definitely auto, and they still
Yeah, they
auto
ran
tuning,
with that.
Yeah.
Now
still
I
auto
will
tune.
say I heard Beanie Siegel. He used
Uh-huh.
AI because I think he got shot or something, and his voice is not the same. So they just recently put something
Right.
up I seen on social media. He used AI so
Okay.
he could sound like his old self, and it was actually pretty. It was pretty dope, man. I mean, so you can use, for the people that want to use it, what I mean, that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's dope, but I do think a lot of people cheat with some of these new softwares and things like that. And I mean, to each his own. But one thing you won't get from intro, what I'm saying? We not going that route. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So when we record
Okay.
Keep it
our albums,
organic.
don't look, yeah, keep it all the way organic, man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
That's it. That's it, man. But intro, man, I want to thank y'all gentlemen for coming on because we're coming to the end of the show,
Yeah.
man. And I want to make sure that individuals know where they'll be able to see the next shows that y'all will be having and how they can get with y'all. I know I'll see y'all at the 15th in City Winery in
Yes, sir.
Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And but let them know how they can follow y'all on social media, how they can actually get you booked to bring y'all on shows. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of promoters that be watching, especially when you are in different platforms and
Hmm.
formats of YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know what I mean? Things like that. I'm still saying Twitter and it's X or
Oh
whatever. So
wow.
to
Okay.
let you know,
I've never even had a Twitter, so I wouldn't know.
it's X now. So, but you're and also with GC Radio, we stream in 134
Right.
countries. You know what I'm saying? So this interview right now is being streamed in 134 countries as we speak. And also too, this will be part of the morning show for Columbus, Ohio, 82.3 PUS. So aired on Third Coast Society TV. So
Oh,
just let
cool.
everybody know where they can see y'all at.
Well, my Instagram, that's all I have, is Teo Soprano, TaoSoprano at on Instagram. Intro has a page that I don't know if it's the official underscore intro or what is it, buddy?
Intro underscore official.
Nah, it's not that either.
Official underscore intro. Yeah, we
we
like the management people. They just set that up like a few months ago. We still been kind of
yeah,
like
we
building
still
up and
kind of
sharing
fumbling
each other
around.
as you know
Well, the
amongst each other
backstory is
adding.
there were a lot
Right.
of people creating intro pages. There were a
Mm-hmm.
million intro pages out there, so we
Yeah.
kind of had to figure out what name we could use, which is crazy. So we kind of still getting used to it, but I think it's the official underscore intro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
Buddy White Music, I think.
Yeah. Buddy White music
Mm-hmm.
and
And Jeff's is I
we
don't know. Jeff's is kind of long. He got a lot of
Jeff
underscores.
underscore intro. We put Jeff intro. He's gonna have a couple pages up. I wish he was still on this interview. He jumped off. I think he was in travel or something like that.
They said it's
But
Right.
yeah. signal was messed up.
Shout out to him.
Right.
I'm sure he has some answers to these questions as well that he would have loved to share. Hopefully, we could come back at a later date.
Yeah, we would
Right.
love that, man. Have y'all back
Yeah.
for sure. So.
Definitely.
Well, you done
And
got
also
that
too,
wine, then you and sat back in the cut, boy.
and then also too, if you're in the DC area, make sure that y'all go out when y'all see Teo, you know what I'm saying, soprano with the go-go band and do his thing, man, with the go-go
Yes,
band,
sir.
man.
Subtle, baby. Subtle thoughts. Look us up.
Subtle thoughts, man. So you'll be able to see him there. You'll be able to see him with intro. So,
Yep.
big bro, you know what time it is, family.
Yes, sir. 1, 2 is what we do. Thanks you for tuning in to Real2reel360 with our special guest intro in the building.
Yes,
We'd
sir.
like to thank them for coming through, man, and we wish y'all best with everything that y'all doing. Go forth, man, and keep doing what you're doing, man, because y'all's story is part of our story, and our story is all everybody's story. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we keep the music flowing, and let's keep it popping. And y'all know, y'all don't have a home away from home. You got a home right here with us on Real2reel360. So if there's anything that we can do for y'all, like I said, we'd love to have y'all back in full so we can get the whole full effect with everybody one time on good notes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
No doubt. All right, everybody. We're going to close my brothers out of here, and we're going to end the show. We hope that y'all enjoyed this episode of Real2reel360 with intro. And we'll see you back shortly on our next platform. So you don't want to miss another
Maya
episode.
B Music.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace to Allah's mighty 5% nation. And we are Audi 5000. We out, baby.
Peace.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we starting to come to the end of the show. Right now, I want to take the time out and thank our guests for coming on. Also, too, we want to make sure that y'all listening and subscribing, and tell a friend and keep sharing, because we're going to keep bringing y'all the real content. You know what I mean? So, DJ KY, my brother, take us up out of here, son. Peace.
I want to give a big shout out to the nation of gods and earth, to all the human families of the planet Earth. I say peace. But to our subscribers, those who continue to watch and listen to the show each and every time we come on, I give a big shout out of love, peace, and happiness. The beast of man, woman, and child of the you and I verse. It's time for us to disperse. We bring the best, not the worst. We thank you once again for tuning in to the Real 360. Bring a friend to hit that like and subscribe, so we continue to grow to bring more knowledge and wisdom to you upon our show. You make it possible for us to